Well, hello YouTube. I just watched a 1974 classic of science fiction, Rollerball. Wow, it's just that opening intro. It's just superb as the intro to that film. Sorry. I've not seen Rollerball in about 20 years, and I picked it up last week on Blu-ray. I thought, oh right, have they put that on Blu-ray? So I picked it up and I watched it, and you know, this time I watched it, I really enjoyed this film. And I got it mainly for the extras, and the extras for this have been astounding. So you get one disc with it, and you get a Rollerball sort of artwork booklet thing. Maud Adams there, look. I used to have such a crush on her, you know, in the Bond movies, Octopussy and stuff. Maud Adams, she was stunning. And it was like cast: James Caan, John Houseman, Maud Adams, John Beck, Moses Gunn, Pamela Hensley, yes, Barbara Trentham and Ralph Richardson. I mean, what a cast. The artwork, I'd love that as, you know, in the frame as a poster. But the film itself, it's got that beautiful 1970s feel of, you know, they made that like sterile world of the future, dystopian, whereas in this world, the corporations have now took over the world. The irony is it's 2018, that's what makes it quite funny. It does make you wonder if we are going that way with the greedy corporations today and all the scandals that come with them, you know. So basically, the society, they had something called, like, when nations went bankrupt, there was something called the corporate, well, there must have been wars, and then there were corporate wars, and out of it come bigger corporations, mega corps, and they run certain sections of the world, like you got the food corporation, the energy corporation, and they eliminate poverty, hunger, war, they get rid of all that, but there's no freedom. Well, there is, I suppose you can do what you want to a point, but you can't be an individual. And that's what this film's about, because to quell in this televised world, they create a game called Rollerball, and it's basically Circus Maximus, gladiatorial combat, but with, like, on roller skates and motorbikes, and this metal ball that gets fired out 120 miles an hour. It's based on a short story, I think it was called Rollerball Murder, where they actually took this film from. But in the little booklet, there's a lot of information going on here, which is sort of interesting. I've actually read some of this, but I stuck to watching extras. James Caan is such a humble character in this, isn't it? He generates a lot of personality without not a lot of dialogue. This is the man who's in conflict, because the woman he loves, they take from him, because apparently corporate... Now, this is where a lot of this gets unfair. In this world they live in, this so-called utopia, you get a thing called a privilege card, and them in the corporations, they took his wife off him because they could do that. So there's like a board, they run everything, but they answer to someone else, and there's this, they've got a computer as well, it's hilarious, like a big fish tank with water, and it's meant to be all the information in the world. I think they've restricted a lot of books and stuff, things classified about the past, and the world is run by these like really cold clinical corporate types, and everybody's taking drugs, they're on these pills to make them happy or whatever, and they've created, but they don't want you to be an individual, because obviously being an individual, you think, you start questioning. Now, Jonathan E, he's the greatest rollerballer ever existed, and when they took his wife off him, it sort of affects him, you know, because some corporate executive had the right to do it. So he throws himself into Rollerball, and he comes the best out there, but he's too good. People are screaming his name, and such like a thing for him. So the corporations that run the planet get very terrified, because when you create a hero, you get revolution or change. And he's like, I think he starts waking up to this. He starts to question, because they took his wife and he's quite embittered. Now, when it starts, you get straight into the game. It's a great intro with that music, and then you see him coming down the corridor, you know, wearing all gear to go out there and do what he does. Well, when he meets Bartholomew, John Houseman, who plays one of the corporate leaders, he says, you've got to resign now. You've done 10 years. You're not bigger than the game. But he is bigger than the game, because people are like turning to him. Well, the start affects his life. They want him out, and he won't leave because he's loyal to his teammates, his best mate Moonpie, and I think that's John Beck. And you know, so what they do is, in the corporation, this Bartholomew and these others, they start changing rules of the game. They make it more like, take the penalties out, the substitution. I mean, it gets to a point where the game gets very barbaric, and he starts to kill him off, because they know they can't get rid of him publicly, because there'd be such an outcry. And basically he starts questioning, like, you know, about himself and who he is, and that, you know, because he says he wants concessions, he wants this, he wants that, but he wants his wife back. So part way through the film, his wife turns up from wherever she's been with this other executive, and I don't know if she's any better off, because she's married to an executive at the other side of the world, and he's got another lover, and she has a kid to him, and so like they live this life, and they've got friends, you know. But I don't think she's happy. But she tells him, she says to him, I want you to resign. And basically, I think what it is, if he packs it in, the old rollerball thing, she'll probably, she's the prize. But he just erases all the images of her on his TV and stuff, and gets rid of her. And he goes to New York for the big final game, and he survives it. I mean, his entire team more or less get killed. I mean, both sides of these super teams, like this World Cup of rollerball, and there's him left, a motorbiker, another skater, and he takes them both out and he scores the goal, and he does it right in front of the corporate board, because they can't touch him. He's going to change some. It'd be interesting to see where this would all go in a sequel. Would he change? Well, because everybody, I mean, it's very powerful moment when he just picks the ball up at the end and just puts it in the goalpost thing in the wall, just smacks it, and it's just incredible. And it's quite a powerful moment, because they don't like you being an individual. And there is some interesting stuff when he makes his wife. He said there used to be freedom. She said, we are free. Yeah, but we're not free to be like who we are, to be individuals. You know, but she said that created war and conflict. But he said it's not about that. He said it's about being free in who you are. And nobody gets that. And that's what in the world round, except them higher ups, because he could change the status quo. Even one of his team managers were sort of sucking up to them upstairs. Even he's chanting his name at the end. And it's a powerful statement. But the politics of this film is really powerful stuff, because you can put some of today into this. I don't mean the role, but I'm on about the corporate thing. And on the extras, there's a lot of film directors and the staff and people that worked on it. Even James Caan says it makes you wonder where all this is going today. I mean, this film was made nearly 40 years ago. So it answers the possible future. I mean, I hope it don't get like that. I mean, I really do. I don't think a lot of people are going to put up with it if it does. But there is a lot of things going on with the corporate thing. I'm not going to get political. This is just a film. But the film does answer some things what it predicted 40 years ago. It's like the giant TVs are really crazy, and the 70s meant to be futuristic technology in the film, which is really interesting. You know, I saw he had a TDK tape and he stuck it in, and that was like a videotape which were interesting. But I loved the big tellies, and the computers were hilarious. I mean, the futuristic brain looked interesting, but outside you had all reel-to-reel tapes, and it's all very 70s. And the film was filmed in Berlin. They used some in London, but the cast, it was sort of interesting because it comes across as being a European science fiction action movie, you know, because in Europe, especially in the UK, they worship this film. There was a cinema in France that played it non-stop for a year. So the Americans just wanted to play the game, and I think they did set up a league similar to the film, you know, like a rollerball league. I'm going to have to look into that. But this was on the extras. Now they got roller derbies in, stuntmen, roller skaters, very Olympic class. I mean, they're flying around that ring at 30-40 miles an hour. The ball fires at 120. And it is pretty incredible. I mean, it took them weeks to they had to play the game before they added the rules, you know, into it. Now, the locations of this are amazing. I love the buildings. The 70s look where they make them look futuristic. And the thing is with 70s, as I've said about other 70s films, the dangling plastic things and the weird lights and all that. And, you know, it's just really cool. But Rollerball is a great movie. Now, I did see the remake, and I will have to say it was awful. It was completely terrible, was the new Rollerball. I even switched it off halfway. I just didn't want to know. Now, this is a classic, you know, and the special features on this, I mean, alone, it's, I mean, you've got high definition Blu-ray feature presentation, definite audio commentary, Norman Jewison, the director and the writer, Bloodsports with James Caan, a brand new interview of the Rollerball star, writer William Morrison, Bloodsports with James Caan, The Fourth City, shooting Rollerball in Munich, Dieter Mate, another revisits the Audi Dome. And that's they visit all the set locations, which are still there today. Even the 70s buildings, you know, the office blocks that were meant to be the future. TV spots and all the standard stuff, but there's some great documentaries on this, and I do recommend it. Do Wikipedia the film, because some really interesting stuff. But the music, Rollerball is a film with its true own identity, which makes this one of them unique movies, and you can understand why this film has such a cult following, you know. But it would have been interesting to see where Jonathan E went after this film. So the message is be an individual, I suppose, you know. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching my review. I will see you on my next video. Please give this a like, and please subscribe. And I'll be doing Black Panther next, and that's it. Alright, guys.